What is up, Grand Liners? You caught me sniffing my cards, and I just want to show you guys my chopper shirt right here. All right. With that being said, let's dive right into the topic of the One Piece trading card game slowly dying. Now, whether you agree or not, and I don't want to make anyone upset if you're heavily invested in the game. I'm heavily invested in the game. I love the game. I wish it could live as long as I do, and past that. One Piece is one of the greatest animes of all time. Of course, it impacted hopefully all of our lives, and the story is just so rich. But the trading card game is suffering, and right now, a lot of us can't really tell that it's suffering, but the signs are there. Now, one cool thing is, sure, boxes and prices of cards are going down. That's good. I guess more people could get into it if only they could actually play the game. Now, on an intermediate level, it is quite difficult to get into store championships and events of that level, of that caliber. I'm not sure if you guys have the same experience as me, but most people cannot wake up at 6 a.m. and sign up for all of these events within seconds or minutes. Now, I have good experience with doing that with different NFT drops. I like waking up and looking at stock prices, but not everyone's is me. If you got kids or something like that, this is very, very tough. So obviously, it's a trading card game, and that is associated with younger people. But One Piece, if you go to any tournament, you're not going to see 9-year-olds, for the most part, playing this game. You're going to see that with Pokemon. You probably won't even see that with Yu-Gi-Oh! So let's stop saying that it's a children's card game, because it's quite not. Most people playing this game are over the age of 20. That's for sure. And last I checked, that means you are an adult by law. You could get drafted into the military. So let's move on from that kind of notion of the game. Now, why is it so difficult to get into these events? Well, here's what happened with me. I managed to get into like 6 of them, but when I showed up to the tournament, they were like, sorry, locals only. You can't play. And I'm like, how am I supposed to know that? And partially, that is always the player's responsibility. But and here's why it's the player's responsibility. This is the 21st century. You got to get what's yours. You need to go to the store's Discord. You need to call the store immediately after you're on and enrolled. It says enrolled, green light, and there's no further information, right? Sometimes the store is very responsible and they'll write, hey, guys, there's actually, we're not doing this by the app. So, yeah, we have the event just so you know that we have it, but you have to contact us for further information. A lot of stores aren't doing that. They just have a quiet locals only policy, or locals come first, which is great, right? But if you're new to trading cards or you're new to an area, that is extremely exclusive. I cannot imagine a new player who never been on Discord navigating the world of Discord, navigating the world of One Piece, learning the game, and then going into these local store politics and trying to figure all that out. That is brutally difficult and is slowly killing the game. Now, I'm not saying that's all bad. There are a lot of pros to this, right? Every strategy has pros and cons. And some of the pros is, well, locals should probably get rewarded for supporting their local game store. But that should be made clear on the app that there is a different system, and maybe a writing notes like, hey, if you are enrolled, do X, Y, and Z to double check that you're truly enrolled. Hey, here's a link to the Discord. So all of that needs to be said on the app side, or else new players are just gonna go, they're not gonna go through this barrier of entry. Now, for other cool events, right? Like online and offline regionals, treasure cups, all of that, it is very, very difficult to get in. We know that much. You'll probably, if you're lucky, get into 33% of the events offered. Now, there's quite a few events, and 10 years ago, this online thing didn't exist. And of course, that comes with a buttload of its own problems, but I'm just glad that people in rural areas don't have to buy tickets on a plane and fly to play this game. That does make it more accessible. But signing up for these events is not that accessible. It's actually quite difficult. Again, 6 a.m. Wake ups if you're on the Pacific coast. If you're on the East Coast, you got a little bit better, but if it's 9 a.m., you're probably at work, and you got to figure that out. So it's not very friendly. Now, of course, I'm just complaining here. Maybe you guys have some great ideas better than me, and you could write those in the comments of how you can fix this game and make it more accessible. The other thing I want to say, which is discouraging players as well. Now, our prize cards, the prices are dropping. Now, I'm not complaining, right? If you get a $5,000 Luffy and then in a month from now it's $4,000, like that's still awesome. And maybe they'll go up in price. But if new players are kind of halted at the gate, because there's a lot of people who love One Piece and don't play the trading card game and would love to get started and be rewarded for playing this trading card game. I'm glad they're doing the tournament packs. I'm glad they're doing event packs and regional packs and all of that. The Dawn, it's all very beautiful. They have heavily invested in art since the first set, so there's a lot going for the One Piece trading card game. But I'm starting to notice in Asia, the tournaments are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And Asia is about, I want to say, 4 to 6 months ahead of Europe and the United States. So are we going to see smaller and smaller tournaments? It's gonna be interesting. I suspect that we will, which also means that the value or the perceived value of these prize cards is also going to go down and down and down. The chase cards in our sets are probably going to go down and down and down. We already have our first $500 manga rare card, which is Usopp. Maybe that's just an Usopp bias. I think Usopp is a great character. But not as cool as Shanks, not as cool as Ace. So maybe that has something to do with it. But we are going to see prices falling in the future at the rate that we're going. I mean, even though the Treasure Cup cards are discontinued, except for some 3 versus 3 tournaments, such as the Choppers, right? You need 4 Choppers if you want to play that Law deck, or some Straw Hat version of Zoro, which is very successful right now. But even though that printing is shortened and halted, I don't see them going back up unless this game can make a turnaround. Right now, we're in a decline. We're headed towards death. I think we got some ways to go, but ultimately, I do see this game dying out within 5 years unless something changes. And in my opinion, there's only one thing Bandai can do to change this game: content creators. And I'm not that biased. I don't consider myself a full-time One Piece content creator. It's been a while since I consistently posted out videos, but there's a reason for that, and we'll talk about that in another video of why I slowed down making videos. But unless Bandai does what Pokemon did and really invest in content creators, then I think we might have some issues here. And content creators have to invest in themselves, and then the community has to invest in content creation. The other thing the community has to do is invest in talking directly to Bandai through these videos, through the comment sections, because Bandai wants to make money at the end of the day, and I believe there are some good people working there who want One Piece to succeed and to last for decades, just like Pokemon. So with that being said, do you agree? Do you disagree? Drop your comment below, and I'll see you in the next one. I will not say peace, because until One Piece is on track to be the greatest card game ever, there will be no peace. We are going to war. All right, guys. See you.